In the last video, we completed the navbar CSS and also the intro page. So this all looks how it's supposed to. Now we're going to move on to the rest of the site, or the rest of the page. And first thing I want to do is we have sections here, such as why, who, clients, and they all have a class called content section. And what I want to do is just make sure that we add some padding to the top so that they're separated and they don't just run up against each other. So we want to go to the bottom of the CSS file and we'll say content section and we're just going to add a padding top of 250 pixels. Okay, so that's not moving down. Content section. Padding top. Let's go ahead and add an important tag here. Alright. Actually, that looks too much. Actually, we want to change that to, let's just say padding. I want the top and bottom to be 100 pixels. Alright, so that's good for now. And the next thing is going to be this area. Okay, so let's look at the HTML first. You can see that we have a row. We have 4 column divs which are wrapped in a class called block, and then we have the block icon left, and we have an icon, and then we have some content that we want to float. Okay, so let's at the bottom here, just going to put a comment in icon blocks, and we want block icon left. Alright, and I'm going to set overflow to auto. And now I'm going to do some nested styling here. So I'm going to stay inside of this class, and then we want to do all our headings. Okay, so this class for these headings will only apply if it's in this class. Okay, another nice feature about using a CSS preprocessor. So we're going to set margin 0, 0, 10, 0, and padding 0, and then font size we're going to do 20 pixels. Okay, now for the icon content, we want to float that to the left, and we're going to set a width of 70%, and then for the icon we want to also float left, and we're going to set this width to, you probably guessed it, 30%. And I'm just going to add a margin top, push it down a little bit. Okay, so let's look at that. Huh. Oh, there we go. Alright, so that looks pretty good actually. So those are all set. Now, I think we have a page header class on these headings. Well, I guess we don't. Alright, so that's fine. So let's do this who are we section. It should have a background image. Alright, so we want to go ahead and add that. I forget what we used for our class. We want to go past the Y section down to right here. So we have a div with the class of who section. So that's the div that I want to attach the background image to. Okay, so the bottom of the CSS file. We're just going to say who section. And we're going to set the width to 100%. Padding will be 50 pixels on the top and bottom. The color of the text is going to be light. And then the background is going to be URL. So it's in the IMG folder, and I believe it's called downloads-bg.jpg. And we want to set that to no repeat. And we want to set it to center. And then scroll. Okay, background color is going to be dark. And then we want to do the background size. I'm actually just going to copy what we did up here. And that should do it. Let's take a look. Okay. Now this here should have more padding when we're looking at it on a big screen. So we need a media query. And yeah, so I'm just going to copy this. And we want who section and padding 100 pixels on the top and bottom. Okay, so now that's bigger, that looks good. This here, the padding on the bottom is a little too much, so I just want to change that. Content section, top, let's actually make that a little less too, so we'll do 80 pixels on the top, 0 on the right, and for the bottom let's try 40 pixels. Alright, so that looks better. Okay, so next is the client section. This is really easy. Basically, we want to separate these images here. So at the bottom, I'm just going to take it by its ID. So client, and let's say text align, center, and then I'm going to go ahead and nest in the images that are in the client section, and we just want to apply margin right. Let's say margin right 30 pixels. Okay, so that looks good. Now the contact, okay, so background, let's say yeah, background is going to be dark, and then the color, whoops, what did I do? That's not right. We need contact. Yeah, contact, background, dark, and then we want the color to be light. And also, I think we need padding. Yeah. Padding bottom. Let's do 80 pixels. Alright, that looks good. So now let's do the footer. Actually, did we put a footer in? Oh no, we don't have a footer. Let's just put a really simple one in. So under section, we'll say footer. And we'll just put in a paragraph. Okay, so we'll go back to the CSS or the less file, and let's just say footer section, and I want margin top to be 10 pixels and padding top 30 pixels. Height, I'll say 80, and let's align the text to the center. And there we go. There's our footer. Alright, so the base HTML and CSS is complete. In the next video, we'll add our little effect where we can actually scroll. Well, it does actually go there. You can see even if we click on it now without any JavaScript, but we want a nice scrolling effect. Oh, let's just add some padding to the bottom of clients. That doesn't look very good. So here, let's do 80 pixels. Whoops, I put that in the, wait a minute. Client padding bottom 80 pixels. How does that affect? Oh, I forgot the semicolon. There we go. You know what? Let's make the padding for the top of the content section 80 as well. I think I have 100. Where is it? Oh, so contact section does have 80 at the top, it looks like. Let's make it a little smaller then. Let's make this, let's try 70. Alright, that looks good. Alright, so in the next video, like I said, we'll add our effects, our scrolling effect.